What? Hold on. I just got a message that we're something going. So, hey, Richard, I know you're here. Can you let us know that you can see what's going on? Because I got some message that popped up and then went away, and I don't know what it said. Um, anyway, hey, welcome to the show. Hopefully, we're broadcasting, and it's Friday. This show is not without its share of hiccups and problems, honestly, and I don't know if anybody can even see us.
It says we're live. Richard, let us know, man. If you're listening, if anybody is, let us know.
Yeah.
That it's going. It says we're live.
Yeah. So I don't know what it said because it just popped up and then went away. And then I was like, I wasn't looking. And now, anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry if you've. I don't know if you're watching, but anyway, I feel really unprepared. I don't know how to look up what's going on.
I don't know. Oh, there we are.
All right, so there must be people here. So, yeah. All right, so we're just gonna move forward. So again, if somebody can let us know that they can see us, that everything's going on, that'd be great. I guess people are saying hello, so I guess we're gonna take that as affirmative action. Richard says we're on now. Thank you, Richard.
Great.
Right.
Thank you, Richard.
So let's just start, Alan, like we just hit the button and we didn't have any of those problems. Okay. So
all right.
Hey, Alan, how are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, guess what, Marshall? It's Friday. It's time for Q&A with Alan and Marshall.
Yeah, how interesting, right? So anyway, it's been a good week, a fun week, and I'm happy to be here. It's a 3-day weekend, and I can't wait to really not do a whole lot of anything, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But so thanks everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate you, and thanks also to the folks that watch as a recording and or listening as we're talking. We really appreciate you.
Yep.
But we really would like you to do us a favor, which is share that you're watching the show, but also comment where you're watching from, what's going on. And then we've got some topics prepared, and we would love your feedback. We'd love your comments. But, it doesn't have to be everything about what we've prepared. If you have a question or a comment or something that you want to share, please put it in there so we can address it or whatever, right? So that's something we love to do as usual, right?
Yep. And if you have a whole different topic or something on your mind, man, let us know.
Yeah, right. So just say hey to some folks. Richard's here, and it's hot in Michigan, evidently.
It is.
What does Michigan hot mean?
It was in the 80s yesterday. 80s. I don't know. My phone's off. It's close to the 90s.
Okay.
It was.
Man, I wish it was in the 90s here.
That'd August is always seems to be the hottest month in Michigan.
Yeah.
And then it'll start gradually going down. September leaves will start changing. Usually. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually not a bad time to be up in Michigan. It's actually a great time of the year coming up.
So Ray's here, another Michigander, right?
Yep.
And another Ray is here. Good seeing you.
From Oklahoma.
Right. And Cindy's watching. Good morning. And Davis says at least it's not snowing.
It is. At least it's not snowing, which is always a Michigan thing. At least it's not snowing. One of the reasons I love living in Michigan is it's snow. No, that's not it. I hate snow.
You can keep the snow.
Yeah,
right?
I can. Grew up with it. Don't like it. So, yep. Future plans will be away from it.
My opinion on snow is it's fun for about 30 minutes.
Yeah,
throw a snowball or two, maybe make a snowman, slide down the hill on a sled. It's
as I said, I don't know how we did it.
It's just a pain in the ass.
Really. Yeah, I don't know how I did it growing up. Richard's from Milwaukee would know. Ray would know and stuff. Man, our parents used to just throw us out of the house, go outside and play. It's 2 degrees out, you're bundled up, and we'd be out there all day.
Yeah.
Don't know what we did. I can't remember what we did.
Yeah. I tell you, the funny thing is when your friend got a new jacket for Christmas, you thought it was a stranger in the neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a rich guy. What? Not a hand-me-down from someone? So
Yeah. Who's that? A jacket.
I was the oldest, so we had this real close friends of the family who had a son who was a few years older than me. So I always got his stuff.
Oh, great. Yeah.
As I got into junior high, though, he was like in high school, so I got his stuff, which was some pretty cool clothes. So
yeah, right. So Ray says, ha, close to 90 is hot. Today is cool in Oklahoma, going to be 85 to 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. I would love it to be 90.
Yep, absolutely. Marshall, are you doing all right this week? I know you had a rough week with Florida State losing.
I
did send my condolences.
You can't control stuff, right? And as a sports fan, okay, I've gotten used to that. I'm sure as a Michigan, Detroit sports team fan, you probably have the same thing. You can't.
For a long time, we expected it.
So here's the thing: is we got outcoached, and our players came out flat. I didn't, we had a starting linebacker that didn't get a tackle or an assist the whole game.
Yep.
What? How is that even possible, right? So it's just like one of these things where, hopefully, it's one loss. Hopefully they can regroup and be undefeated the rest of the year or whatever, right? Maybe this is a good thing. I don't know, right? But I can tell you, we didn't open up with the little Ginny School for the Blind like a lot of people open up in the first game. So I think that's a positive. It was, we lost the game on a field goal at the last second, whatever, right? We could have won it if we had just done a couple things right, but we didn't. We deserve to lose. So that's the thing.
Isn't that how it always is in sports and even in business? Sometimes it's a certain thing, a couple little things, a fundamental that go wrong. But on the same thing, I text you for your condolences. I did say congratulations to Little League World Series champs, Lake Mary, Florida.
Yeah.
So that's worldwide, beat the Chinese Taipei. I'm a big Little League baseball fan, played it, watched that tournament on TV every year, and great game.
Yeah.
So,
and this sports portion of the show is brought to you by Easy Way. So
absolutely, Easy Way, sponsor of Little League World Series. I've been to Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I've not been to the state. I've went by them and stuff, but I actually used to umpire Little League quite a bit.
Right.
So yeah. But congratulations, Lake Mary, Florida. If anybody from Florida is watching.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the show, and we want to talk about celebrating people, right? It's Labor Day.
Yep.
So labor is your staff. Labor is, your customers. Labor is everybody that works with you and all that stuff, right? And I think a lot of times we're really super busy doing our thing, right? And we don't take a minute to say thank you. We appreciate you, all that stuff, right? And I just thought it'd be really good to kind of talk about this for a minute, because I can't do what I do by myself. I mean, I've got a crew, right? I've got Jonathan and Lear, my VA team. I've got Alan, who helps me with this, but I also have a supporting cast of characters that do a lot of stuff for me. Allie Banholzer and Richard, of course, he sits in, fills in for me all the time. And everybody who shows up to all the Shirt Lab stuff and gives us suggestions and feedback and whatever. These really help kind of move the needle in what I'm doing. All right. So I really appreciate that. And so I just wanted to kind of throw that out there that we should be appreciative of this stuff and take a minute to really celebrate people. Right. And, I've been doing this show with Mr. Howe here for, what is this, 3 years now?
4 years.
4 years. I don't even know. And
2020.
And of course, it's a fly by the seat of our pants kind of enterprise, but there's still some work here, right?
Yeah.
So we have to commit to it, and it's a lot of fun, and couldn't do it without you and a lot of other everybody that's showing up, right? And so it takes a village, right? So just want to throw it out there. What do you think, Alan?
Well, I do agree. And while Lyra is in your team, and James, your VAs, I interact with Lyra a little bit. We were actually in a fun email chain this week.
Right. And by the way, they weren't speaking English. And
it was my bad Tagalog. And yeah, a missed thing on that. She laughed at me, but it was awesome. But that's what makes it fun. So Lyra, I appreciate everything you and James and the VA team does. For me personally, I have for some of my side stuff, I have a VA, Cheryl. She does a great job. I don't use her as much as like Marshall depends on here, but mine is just small stuff with her. But doing great. At Easy Way, we have some people that probably don't get the recognition.
Let's recognize them.
Yeah. So in the office, we have a new marketing girl, Emily Havelson, man, doing a killer job, doing great. I've had some projects, just some thoughts. She's been awesome.
Is she responsible for the new logo?
She is.
Oh, I love that logo.
Yeah, she is a big part of that. You've seen some more posts going out. So I've asked for some things for some of my distributors, and she's just been great. And then Tina, who's in the office, and Dawn, who have been there since before I started working with them again, literally the glue that holds that company together. Everybody knows me, everybody knows Alex, everybody knows the sales stuff, everybody knows Sarah. But yeah, and then in the plant, our head guy, Kevin Nickham. I've never met Kevin, but he handles it all. So we have some great people that keep things going. Are we a perfect company? Absolutely not. Am I a perfect sales rep? Absolutely not. Them in the office, they put up with my crap and nonsense. And, I still have, we try to be as professional as we can here, Marshall. But, sometimes still salespeople, I'm like, oh, what do you mean we can't deliver it like yesterday? Because thinking all about it, and they've got a bigger picture, but they do a great job. So really appreciate that. I also, too, people I depend on, and, got to love having a team you can call when things are just not in your wheelhouse. I call Richard all the time. Ray Greenwood and I talk, and it's so nice to have, a crew like that.
Yeah, and for those watching, throw in the chat, something about your team or the people that help you in your business. Let's pay it forward a little bit, I think, we'd love to kind of see what's going on. And then also, if you've got a staff, what are you doing for them for this weekend, right? You guys working a half day today, or give everybody $100 to go buy a case of beer over the weekend or whatever, right? What's going on, right? And people don't know that you appreciate them unless you actually say the words, right?
Yeah.
So, would love to find out what everybody's doing, right? So that'd be kind of fun.
Probably need to do that. Yep. So that's about it. And I appreciate just the friends that I have. I've called customers and people like that. Brian Buffke, even you, for as much as we needle each other. Appreciate it, bud.
Yeah. But we're going to dock his pay for being late, right? And Missouri destroyed a school 51-0.
My nephew, Mason, who's a senior this year at North Branch and just killing it. They had their first high school football game last night. He sent me, he goes, Uncle Alan, we won. I go, awesome. He goes 68-0. Of course, I say, congrats. I go, I am assuming 61 of those points are yours with 10 sacks.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, man, what a crush. So, so Mason, proud of you. Love you, buddy. He won't listen to this, but yeah.
Yeah, well, good. It's out there. It's the karma. It's floating around, right? So it's all good, right? So how can companies celebrate their staff, Alan? Do you have any ideas, or have you worked at a company that did something that you found remarkable?
Well, I've worked at companies where they've been less than remarkable.
How'd
You
that
know,
make you feel?
lousy. There was a company the first 2 years played to my strengths, and it was some of the best 2 years of my life. Those last 2 years were some of the worst. Some of you in the industry knew it. Marshall, you knew me then. I remember Ray Montgomery, who was with two regular guys. Him and I I was at a trade show, and he came up and goes, pulls me aside, he goes, "Are you all right?" Yeah, Aaron Montgomery. I'm sorry. Yeah, Aaron Montgomery. Did I say Ray? I'm an idiot. Aaron Montgomery. He he just goes, "Are you okay?" I go, "Yeah, I'm all right." He goes, "You look weighted, like you have been for months." And I was literally on the verge of just breaking down because things were so bad at the company.
Yeah.
And I stayed too long. I should have left long before. But you know what? I don't think there's one way to celebrate an employee, Marshall. You almost got to treat these people, I would think, in a case by case. What is their button? What is their things that there? For me, you know what? Sometimes a thank you, an appreciation, thank you goes a long way with some people. Some people, they just want money and all that.
I can tell you what everybody wants is to be seen and heard. It's to be treated with respect. It's to be acknowledged that you contribute. Right?
Yeah.
And, just like one of the things I used to do was just not every day, but a good enough time is just stand by the door at the end of the shift and thank people on their way out, right? And just
I think that
pat them on the back or acknowledge something they did during the day that really went over well. And another thing I tried to do was send what I called refrigerator material. So a handwritten card acknowledging them, maybe it's their work anniversary, maybe they did something well, and you put a little, maybe there's a $50 bill in there, or there's a movie tickets, whatever. You put stuff in there and you send it to their house, and then that gets on a magnet on the refrigerator. So when their spouse or mom or whoever comes over, they're like, and they'll say, "Wow, you work for a really great company."
Right.
And that's what you want, is you want that type of culture and atmosphere where people are thankful to work there.
Yeah. In sales, it's tough because your reward is always your commission and stuff. But when you're working for a company, it's easy as a sales manager, as an owner, to say, we're not doing this, especially when things get tight in a weird year like this. But sometimes you got to acknowledge it's more than just the sale going, man, I see what you're doing. I appreciate that. And almost acknowledging what they're doing well.
Well, an outside salesperson that travels is the face of the company.
Yeah. And
I've heard from, I can't tell you how many shops where they'll say, "What's the reason why you use this company?" It's like, "Well, their salespeople come by, and this other company I've never seen. I don't even know who my rep is."
Yeah.
Right. And so that matters to a lot of people because they want to be acknowledged that, hey, I'm over here, I'm in business. Right.
The hard part, Marshall, too, is when you have an outside team and then a team that just is an office staff that is like, okay, say whatever it is, it's 9 to 5 or whatever. It's easy to, think, because all they see is they're in this city, they're in this city, they're at this trade show, they're on the plane. And everybody goes, what an easy job. They don't see 12:30 at night, flights canceled. They don't see it's a weekend and I'm gone. They don't see 3 to 4 days a week away from home. It's a different kind of tough, a different kind of rough. And not to say there is some flexibility, quite a bit there. But it is a different kind of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
And
I would. I mean, I've been in 4 cities in 3 weeks in August, right? And and they're all in different time zones and different things. It's just like, I think one of the things I'm looking forward to tomorrow is just sleeping in.
Alex Mimosa, my boss, is flying back right now from Asia, 3 countries, 9 days. That's tough.
Yeah.
That is tough. And, as cool as it is, as someone that's been there, I'm a little jealous on that, little FOMO on there. But, oh, my gosh, that is brutal.
Yeah.
I've done one time zone, like a 12-hour time difference, in 10 days before, and that was rough. Three countries in 9 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you how I do things when I travel is I try to go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time, regardless of what time zone I'm in.
Yeah.
That really helps me adjust, right? What's really brutal is when I'm on the East Coast, right? Because I get up at 5:30 every day, right? And my body thinks, "Oh, it's really 2:30 in the morning. What are you doing?" Which is why have I told you about my love for coffee? Anyway, but that seems to work really well for me. You can't do the math in your head, right? So,
the hard part, like for us on the East Coast, is going to the West Coast because it's 3 hours different. While it's 8 o'clock for you guys, it's 11 o'clock for us.
Yeah.
So if it looks like I'm dragging at 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, it's because I am.
Yeah. Well, also you sleep in, 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 and like I'm not going to get up because it's whatever. And you finally go, okay, I can't sleep. I got to get out of bed, and it's still 5:45 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. And it's try to stay on the schedule. Now, like when you go to Asia and it's 12 hours different, a little different, real rough. So,
all right. So let's switch gears.
Anyway, celebrating people. It's just knowing. I think all that to say we get off on. It's knowing what they do, celebrating what they bring to the table, and it might be different from the next person. And but you're right. I've made a note. Some people at our company I want to send an email to, just thanking them.
Yeah, good. So, all right. So next topic here, completely different. How are you proving what's working? And the reason why I want to throw this out here, this could be in how you decorate. This could be in how you sell. This could be in how you're managing your staff, right? Yeah. How are you proving that the success that you're having is due to something, whatever that something is? And the reason why I want you to think about this is because you want this next April. You want to be doing this every single time, and it has to be part of your process. And it can't just be the stars aligned and it's luck and you have no idea why it's working, right? So I want you to figure out how to prove what's working. Of course, the other side of that coin is what's not working, right? And the easiest way to do this is measuring some sort of KPI. There's a number attached to it, right? So, and this could be, how do we know that right now we're really killing it with sales? Like, okay, so what has separated that from June when nobody was buying? Are you talking to different people? Are you communicating more? Are you got bigger outreach? I mean, what has changed in your business? And sometimes it's, we're doing the same effort, but now people are buying. But let me tell you, people were buying back in June. You just weren't talking with the right people. Right. So it's like, can you build your process, your sales engine or whatever to do the things that get you the success? And I think it's really important that people know and prove, what we want is repetition. What we want is a process. What we want is the same thing to happen every single time.
Right.
And so really kind of understanding how we get there is, I think, a integral part of that, right? What do you think about that, Alan?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on the measuring part. I always think of our friend Richard Greaves. If you get an email or a text from him, he has two things on his signature: is one, what are you reading? And two, how are you measuring that? And when we talked about this topic, it first came up, how are you proving what's working? That's what I thought of, is how are you measuring that? You just can't say, well, because I'm busy. On the technical side for me, we had a group sales chat. One of the guys having a problem on there. We think it's an emulsion thing. And my deal is, you know what? He said, no, Alan. He goes, I think he's exposed. And I said, well, this is the problem. I go, how is he measuring that? I said, we can't think on this. I go, the variable, I said that the change variable from what you said is new direct to screen, new exposure unit. There's your variable right there. That needs to be dialed in just to rule it out, if nothing else.
Right.
So it has, how are you measuring that? If it's in sales, how are you measuring that? You know, I look on my dashboard of where I'm at. I'm about 600,000 from hitting my goal. It's going to be a little tough, can be done. If I have the numbers I did, I could be pretty close to it. But I'm going to need some things to fall to hit that, to move that needle. And that's some big things. And we're working on them.
Everybody, if you're listening right now, buy something from Alan.
Absolutely. I hate to say it, other Easy Way reps, if you're from all over the country, here's a list of my dealers, go to it. No, that's not it. And not that I'm down. You know what? I'm probably going to break even, which is not optimal. It's been such a, I don't even want to say I'm okay with that. I want to hit my goal.
Right.
But it has been a weird year. I have picked up some new stuff. I have some things that I'm looking at that we're measuring that, you know, of dealers that are doing way better. You know, over the years, you're seeing this growth coming from them, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
New business that's come up. Some of that's through machine sales, but you know, machine sales are one time. But man, if that turns into they were using a competitive product and now they're buying ours, perfect.
Yeah. So if you're watching this, I would love it if you would chime in there. How are you proving something is working in your shop?
Yeah.
Specifically, what are you measuring? How are you measuring it? Right? What are you doing? Right? And that way we can kind of share best practices a little bit. So just throw that in the comments. Charles is here. Hey, Charles, good seeing you. And Carlos is here. Good seeing you, Carlos. Enjoyed hanging out with you when I was in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. So it was good.
Yes, you guys need to watch the jerseys thing.
Yeah, it was good. So, anyway, so how are you proving what is working, right? And
Carlos is a great sales guy. You guys want to know about a blue water machine? Talk to Carlos. I love taking people in there to see his working because I just stand back. He goes at it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of energy. So, I think it's important that we kind of understand how things are working, and then also, you know, if it's not working, what do you need to do to shore that up, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, this doesn't have to be a decoration process. This could be how your customers see you. Do they see you as a partner, right? How do you prove that is there, right?
Yeah.
Right. And hi, gentlemen. When Alan is done selling everyone, send them my way.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm selling everyone, or I wouldn't. I'd have my goals already.
Yeah. Thanks for jumping in.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Sean's watching from LinkedIn. We had some LinkedIn issues last week, so
absolutely.
So, I don't know. You know, one of the biggest challenges we have doing this show is that StreamYard links to all these other social media sites, and sometimes they don't like to play with each other.
Yeah, there was a problem with LinkedIn a few weeks ago, and sometimes out of our
it's not us, or sometimes it is, but in this case, it's not. Right?
Most of the time, it's us, but yeah.
So anyway, so how are you proving what's working? I think that's really a really good thing. You know, and then if you've, what is your business known for? Right. And if you kind of dial that in, I was on the Catalyst call the other day with Mark, and he was one of the things he was talking about is what is your company known for? Yeah. How are you kind of like talking about that? And then how do you know that your customers are in alignment with that or even understand whatever that is?
Right.
And so it's like, how are we proving these things? I think it's really important to kind of understand that. Because otherwise we're just guessing.
Yeah, and there is no guessing in printing and decorating.
Yeah. So Mike's here. Hey, Mike, have a sales call with one of our reps. Okay, what does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, Mike. So,
Yeah.
but
or maybe he's listening in. I don't know. Right?
Oh, okay, yeah. And the question is it a rep that is selling to him or one of his reps that sells for him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
To switch to Easy Way products. There you go.
Awesome. If you want to buy through my distributors, that would help me. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. So here you go. Let's explain. We have a sales call with one of our reps to switch to Easy Way products, and he's got fat fingers, right? So he can't.
I'm guessing that rep is probably a distributor, and that would be SPR probably out there.
Good.
Which is doing real good. They're a newer distributor for us. Our, we have a rep. If you're going to be at Printing United, go see Andre. He's amazing. He's killing it in California right now.
Yeah, is that he covers the whole state or just Southern California?
West Coast mostly. He covers that. He covers Phoenix. Doing great. Dre's doing awesome.
Great. There you go. Yes, SPR. But you better get the credit.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen. Dre gets it. It's his dealer. But that's all right. You'll be in good hands. I'm always here as backup for you. So,
all right. So, third topic today. Do you remember?
No, I didn't write any of them down.
Yeah. So, August is over, people, right? September is here. So, Q3 is literally about 4 weeks away to the end of Q3. How you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to hit your goals? Whatever. You got a couple weeks left to nail that Q3 goal. What are you doing? Right. And by the way, did we mention how are you proving what's working?
Yeah.
So September is here. And with September comes Q4, which is holiday. Do you have your holiday marketing, your holiday sales, your holiday catalog, whatever you're doing? Do you have that built already? Because you should. And if you don't, you're behind. Okay.
Absolutely.
I know promo distributors, by the way, who've been selling holiday stuff since June. Okay. Yeah. And here it is. And if you haven't even thought about this stuff and in September, you're incredibly behind. Right. So I'm just throwing it out there. You've got a couple weeks to have a really good September so you can close out Q3 with a bang and, be in the black, right? And so that's really important. So what are we doing? Also, it's the time of year when everybody gets really super crazy busy, right? Yep. Back to school, blah, 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 right? So with that comes a new operational cadence that you might have to have in your shop. So are you prepared for that, right? Are you prepared for suddenly 50% more screens that have to go through the screen room? Or you're going to have to, normally you get 20 boxes a day in receiving and now it's 65, right?
Right.
Are you doing everything exactly the same, but now because you've got more work, now suddenly everything starts getting behind. And then what happens is, not right now, today, but 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, you're suddenly really super behind. You're starting to be late. You're starting to have more overtime, blah, 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 blah. Start thinking about this stuff right now so you can make better business decisions and resolve this stuff before it becomes a problem.
Yep.
Right? So that's just word to the wise kind of a thing, right?
Yep.
So what are you seeing right now, Alan? You go to shops all the time. Do you think people are prepared like they should be?
No, because they never are. Most shops never are prepared. So I'm going to say no. No matter how much we preach, so get prepared. The other thing, September's here. We're in the last quarter. Have you talked to your accountant?
We're not in the last quarter.
We're coming into the last quarter.
Okay, just we're in the end. Toward the end of Q3, the last quarter.
Right. So like I said, we're coming into the last quarter in September. That'll be the last quarter coming up, and it's a holiday, so yeah, we're there pretty much. Have you had these discussions as a decorator with your accountant? Do you need to spend money before the end of the year? One of my shops and I were customers and I were talking. He says, "Yeah, They were asking me, they're looking at a couple things. He said, we've got to spend some money. Our accountant's saying, we're looking at
why
this.
would we have to spend the money, Alan? I think you need to explain that, because people don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So basically, you're going to end up paying taxes unless you have some expenses to come up on. It's a good problem to have on there, or they're going to say you're going to get taxed on this. So make sure you have some larger expenses of investing into your company. So if your accountant should be able to tell you that ahead of time. If you're waiting till the end of the year, you're already past it, because whatever you purchase has to be there before the first of the year.
Yep.
So now is the time to go, where do we want to make if we have to spend 100,000, 20,000, something in between or whatever, now's the time. Where do you need to upgrade? Where do you need to become more efficient? Is it a blue water auto reclaim? Is it a new press? Is it a DTF machine? Is it all of the above? Is it new heat press equipment from Stalls or Hicks or someone like that? All these things, what you need to do. Is it new software? Now is the time to do that. And you've got to be proactive with your accountant to say, where am I at? And I just don't think people do that enough, and they miss out.
Well, I can tell you from talking with shops, there's people out there that don't even have an accountant.
That's a problem.
Yeah. And I talk to people all the time, and they can't pull a P&L, or they're waiting their accountant to tell them if they made money or whatever. Yeah. There's just a basic business literacy that is missing with lots of folks. Not anybody on this call.
No.
You guys are all perfect, but
absolutely.
But I bump into that all the time, right? Yep. Some great comments here. So Brian says, we're measuring our network marketing by asking how new customers found us.
I think that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Because that tells you,
Brian, what's the number one answer?
Yeah. I love when it's social media and stuff, but I love when they go, well, by referral, someone else told me about you. That's still just amazing.
Yep. And then he's got another comment, which is, we're working with customers on January events already. Oh my God, you're my hero, Brian.
Perfect. Way to go.
Hero. And I how many times have I said January sales happen before Thanksgiving, right?
Brian, let's just be honest.
After Thanksgiving, especially in January,
yeah,
you're just not going to be selling it. So right now is the perfect time, and I love that you're doing that. So kudos to you, pal.
Is that now? Here's the question, Brian. Is that you or is that Myra doing it? So yeah.
All right, and then Chris is here. Good seeing you
from Canada.
Yeah, right. So, what's the Canadian version of this, right? So August is over and September is here. I mean, how do things happen in Canada? Or is it a little different than down here in the United States, or is it kind of the same? I'd love to kind of understand that. So
that I don't know.
Well, that's why I asked him, right?
Chris, what do you think? If you're not sure, look into that. Give us a report next week.
Referrals and conferences are the top answer. And 100%. By the way, it's Myra. So.
That's great. You know what? And Brian, that's got to help you going, man, conferences are the top answers. I know you do a bunch and let you know that your dollars to do those, man, that's ROI. That's return on investment. That's amazing. And referrals are great. Nothing better than a referral.
Yeah, I love referrals. They're fantastic.
Marshall, maybe too. How many people ask for referrals too?
Not many.
Yeah.
That should be probably part of your drip marketing, where it's just an automated thing that goes out.
Yep.
Can you give us a referral? Can you leave us a review? All that stuff, right?
Yep.
And once you get that set up, then you don't have to do it ever again. But here's the key is getting it set up.
Yeah.
And it can be an automation, right? So, if Davis is still on here, he's the king of that, right? He's got lots of triggers. He does everything in Go High Level. He also uses Shopbox, but a lot of his marketing stuff is Go High Level. And he's got all these triggers that happen. It's all conditional logic. If this happens, this is the next thing that's going to happen in the sequence. And he's done all that stuff, right? So
that's incredible.
And Brian says Myra is all financial because I'm the talker. That's great.
That is awesome.
What are your strengths, man?
So Brian asked Myra, where are you guys at for, do you need to spend money? Do you need to not spend money for your business? Now's the time to ask.
Yeah. So Chris says, join halfway through your conversation, not sure what you're asking. So what we're asking here is, August is practically over, right? September starting. This is the end of Q3, right? So what we want to know is, how are you preparing? What are you doing to make sure you have a really great end of Q3? You hit all your goals, but you're also doing the prep work for Q4, right? And so we just, what's going on in there in Canada, right? Because, it's maybe a little different because, you're in a different market, and also you sell a different type of product, and you do different, all that high density stuff. So I'm just very curious of what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Brian says, I drag current customers over to the booth when talking to potential customers. Social proof. That's great.
Absolutely.
Drag. Hey, grab them by the arm and pull them over, right?
Well, I wish I could say I don't do that, but I do. I already did it here. Like I said, I've had people go to Sharp Prints to look at the Blue Water machine. I stepped back because I just let Carlos go. And nothing better than a user who's happy and loving it.
Yeah. Do you give that guy a bottle of liquor or something? I mean, what do you do for
He's listening. Don't give him ideas.
Yeah. All right. All right. He says summer was slow, but now that sports and school are starting up, I'll be filling up in November already. Great.
Awesome.
All right. Cool. All right. We got one topic left. Let's get on it. And we're going to call this the wrong bus.
Yeah.
So let's say that you're taking public transportation, right? And you get on you get on the bus and you're heading down the road and realize you're on the wrong bus. You stay on the bus or you get off. Well, of course you get off, right?
Yep.
So, but this is a metaphor for business here, right? So I want you to think about you're doing something with a customer, with a decoration method, with marketing, with whatever, right? And it's just like being on a bus, right? And sooner or later, you realize, man, this is not right for me, right? Do you fire the customer? Do you do something differently with your marketing? Do you let that employee go? I mean, what are we doing? And I think a lot of people just keep riding the bus.
Yeah.
Okay? And they know they should make the change, but they don't. They just keep riding the bus, which is why you've got people who've got 20 years in this industry still doing things the same old way.
Right.
Because it's comfortable. That bus that you're on is really comfortable, and we don't get off the bus and get on the right bus.
Right.
So little armchair psychology, Alan. Why do we do this? What the hell is going on?
Because that bus is comfortable, they don't also, what I call is they're not feeling the pain from going that direction.
Right.
And when you don't have the pain going, that bus is comfortable. Do you know that there's a drop off? The freeway's not done and there's a big drop off, that you're going to spiral down. You've got to get off at the next exit.
Right.
You have got to get off of that stop and change the course. I've always taken this way. I've always taken this bus. Yeah, that's that. If you're think of, I guess right now, Marshall, and I need to do it. You need to do it. Everybody needs to do it. What's the thing going? Well, this is how we just do it. And that probably is where you need to look at going, why am I doing that?
markets
Needs to
change, customers' buying habits change,
Yep.
type of employees that you employ change. There's a lot of change that goes on. And I love Sean's Will Rogers quote here, right? Which is, if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging.
100%.
And then Richard's got a gem here also. All quality control is based on comparison. That's a 40-year-old quote from a quality guru.
Yep.
Right? Is that Dennings who said that? Right?
It sounds like a Jeff McHugh.
Jeff McHugh, right? I don't know, right? So let us know who said that, Richard.
Maybe Richard, is that you?
Is that him?
Richard Greaves?
Right? Who said that, right? Anyway.
You know what? I said it. It's mine. He stole mine from me. No, it's not me.
So anyway, you're on the wrong bus, right? And I think the thing that, especially in this industry, is there's like DTF, right? That's through the market, and people are absolutely killing it, making hand over fist more money than they've ever made with screen printing. But I'm a screen printer, and that's how I look at everything, so I'm not going to change.
Yep. So I have a customer I was at last week, 2 weeks ago, contract printer, 4 automatics, jammed, packed. He has bought another building. He is expanding out. And that whole building is just going to go DTF and direct print on there because, well.
Yeah. All right. Quit gloating, Davis.
Yeah. So he is actually going, you know what? I'm just buying and buying DTF. This is just a part of his market now. And he is just a pure contract printer.
Yeah.
And his automatics are not slowing down. He's doing huge multicolored stuff. And then he goes, but I'm getting a lot more of stuff that can go DTF. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, things have to change or expand.
Right. So we need to get off the bus and get on another one. Right.
Yep.
Or at least look up and realize where we are. Right. And so it's just, it's just kind of a thing, I think. And I don't know why people get so trapped, right? Yeah. And I think we need to kind of like just expand our horizons a little bit and do some stuff, right? So
part of it is, Marshall, and this just might be an Alan Howe opinion, is sometimes we get involved in something and you've built that business and that becomes your identity, and it's almost threatening. Your own personal identity.
So if I don't screen print, then what am I?
Yeah, exactly. Instead of thinking you're a business owner, you're a garment decorator, and it's just a matter of how you're getting the best product at the best, the best value for your customers. So you can make the best profit.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Davis. We're just decorators.
100%.
Right.
And this same thing happened, and I'm going to say it again. The whole DTF thing, this is 100% straight out of DTG playbook. Same thing happened. I'm not a garment decorator. I'm a screen printer. And I did an article called Screen Print versus direct-to-garment, and it was not a this over that. It was how these markets converge and what you need to look at. And I actually said we have to be just decorators. You're not a screen printer. You're not an embroidery. You're not a garment directed garment. You are a garment decorator.
Yeah, right.
So,
yeah, I wrote a blog article a couple of years ago when all this was going on called "Screen Printing as a Lion, DTG as a Cheetah." Right.
Yep.
They're completely different animals. It's just like you got to look at what's right for your project more than anything. Right.
Exactly.
So
cheetahs are fast. Cheetahs are there. Cheetahs are also the smallest and weakest of the big cats, but man, they can move fast for short burst.
Yeah.
Lions are in it for the long haul. They work as a pride. They work as a team when hunting and on there. So it's just a completely different process.
Right. Thanks for explaining the article.
I am. I'll be on Wild Kingdom next.
All right. So, what other things do you think that we do in this industry, Alan, where we're just heading down the wrong path, and we don't quite understand where we are and what we're doing. Is there anything else we should be looking at?
Yeah, there's a few things. And Marshall, I guess I hate to say it, these are the things that make you and I insane. You know, when people don't know their pricing, they don't know their profitability, and still don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about, Alan. That's never come up ever.
Never comes up because Marshall's doctor has said you're not allowed to even acknowledge this because that vein in the side of your head will explode. For me, is why are you using screen opener? Oh my freaking gosh! Spray away, stop making it. Thank God. You know, these are things that we're just so used to doing, and yeah, it's almost like the security blanket. You know, so I don't know that there's nothing new, Marshall. You know, we could probably, between a lot of us, you know, why do you not have a simple exposure calculator, 21 step measuring your exposure? In this day and age, just should not be. How can you keep not checking the tension on your screens? I don't care what kind of frame you have. How do you not have a tension meter?
Oh, no. They have the tension meter.
I calibrated my fingers today. I can do it.
No, they have a tension meter, Alan. It's in the box. It's up on a shelf. It's buried.
Yeah, it's right there. I see it. Yeah.
They don't actually ever use it.
Because tension meters are a Jedi tool, and you can use the Force when using them. Not.
Yeah. So anyway, so
it's the same thing. How can you say my business is down, I don't have customers, and not look and change and do something else?
Yeah. So to me, I think the wrong bus is also talking about understanding where our customers are and then what really drives them.
Yep.
And, you know, I think after COVID, we're still in kind of a COVID hangover. After COVID, everything changed, and how customers buy, how they look at stuff, what they're doing, whatever, stuff has changed. And if we haven't changed with it, then we're behind. And I use this story all the time is, later this morning, my wife is going to go to the grocery store. She's going to pull into a slot. She's going to text that she's there. They're going to throw the stuff in the back of the car, and she's going to drive home. And the whole thing is 20 minutes of time, right? And that's how she hasn't been in a grocery store since COVID started, right? And I don't think she's ever going to go back.
And that's okay.
And she just likes to hang out with her iPad and, what do we need, honey? And it's done, right? Yep. Now, I like to roam around the aisles, and usually Saturday, Sunday morning, especially really early because I get up early.
Yeah,
I like to go because there's nobody in the store yet, and I could go. Oh, I want to try that new deli, or I want to whatever, right? And I like doing that. It's fun for me. So
Marshall goes for the free samples. He brings his own too.
It's not the free samples. It's just I like to pick stuff up and look at it. You can't do that.
I agree.
Right? So but here's the thing. The grocery store now is putting coupons and trial size things in the bag with the stuff that we get.
Yep.
And why are they doing that? It's because we're not going to the store.
Yep.
Right? So that's just something that, your customers probably have changed how they're doing stuff. Have you changed with it? Right.
And I think that's a mindset change, Marshall, and not to belabor it, but I think we've got to get out of our mind, shake the COVID fog out of our head and go, it's not because of COVID. It's over. The market has changed. We can't blame COVID on this and the stuff afterwards. Yeah. It just is. That's like saying, well, since, the Vietnam War, when everybody came back, you can't say that anymore. You've got to get over it. Well, since the recession, okay, 2008. Okay, yeah, come on. You got to just get over it. It's
Yeah.
not COVID. You can't use excuses and crutches anymore. You've got to look at where the market is, because if it's not COVID, there's just going to be, progression and technology changes and stuff. It is ever evolving. Nothing stays the same.
Yeah.
And so we can't use excuses anymore. You know what I mean?
You can't have excuses. Well, then what are people going to talk about?
How will I justify my bad habits?
Yeah.
Marshall,
all right. Well, I think this horse.
Marshall, because I have somebody wrote on my whiteboard, you can't deposit excuses.
Who
What
was
will I
that?
deposit? They
Who
keep
was
coming back.
Who would deface your whiteboard with graffiti like that?
The initials are MA. It says up there under quotes.
Yeah.
But you know what? You can't deposit excuses. And, we can't keep using, well, COVID did this to the business. Yeah, get over it. I'm tired of hearing it. No one cares anymore.
Right.
It's changed. It didn't destroy everything. It changed.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, I think that horse is thoroughly beaten. And
Yep.
let's there's a couple of other things I want to end the show with today.
100%.
So this is something that I'm really super proud of. It's a book that's coming out in October. If you're going to be at Printing United, I would love for you to catch this panel discussion. It's at the Apparel Zone main stage Wednesday at 11 o'clock. So what's going on here is there's a book that I've been working on since January, and we're going to be releasing it in October. What the book is about is inclusivity, which is about how it's a how-to guide on how your company can hire a disabled worker and the reason why you should consider doing that. And I co-wrote this book with four guys, Jed Seifert and Vince Bartozzi with Stakes Manufacturing in Cleveland, and Patrick Bardsley and Tim Howe with Spectrum Designs in New York. And both of those guys, all of those guys are experts on this, and I'm just like facilitating getting the book together, right? And so it's an amazing book, and it really states the case. And here's something I don't think a lot of people know and understand is that the largest demographic in the United States of unemployed people are folks with some sort of disability, right? Now, this could be that they're on the autism spectrum, or they're in the wheelchair, or they're blind or deaf, or only have one arm, whatever, right? There's some sort of disability, and they just want an opportunity. But because we tend to hire people that look like us, we discount that person that's in a wheelchair can't do the job or has autism or whatever. And so this book is really about why you should rethink that premise,
right,
and give these folks an opportunity. And it's about how to go about that, because there's programs and job coaching. Sometimes in some communities, there's actually even money that you could get. So that's what we're talking about in the book. And so this panel discussion is going to be really great. It's all five of us are going to be there. And that's what we're going to be talking about. We'd love for you to show up. There's going to be a QR code. If you're a member of Printing United is giving every single member of Printing United a copy of the book. And there'll be a QR code that you can get to download the advanced kind of release kind of deal. And so this is going to be a really great thing. This is going to be on the main stage in the Apparel Zone. Would love to see you there. And of course, once we get this thing going, Alan, I'm going to want to have these guys on the show. That'll probably happen.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so that's kind of a big deal, right? And as far as Printing United is concerned, this is one of the main reasons why I'm going is because of this.
Yep.
This book is going to have such a huge impact on the industry. And like I talk to people all the time about it, and you'd be shocked at how many people have a family member, a child, or their brother, or an in-law, or a cousin, or whatever, who has a disability and cannot find employment. I think this is really going to make a big impact. Of course, that's what I'm hoping
Yep.
for this industry. And I've worked really hard on it. And so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Right. And so we'd love to see everyone there.
Marshall, this goes into what I was just talking about no excuses. The other thing we hear all the time is, man, you can't find people, you can't find labor and stuff like that. Right here it is. No more excuses.
Oh, it's in front of you.
Yep.
Right. And what I'll tell you, and this book has the stats and it's got this proof, right, is that these people not only will be a good worker, but oftentimes they will be your best worker.
Yep.
Okay. They'll be the top worker in that department. And they just need a chance, right? That's the thing here, right? And
yep.
I'm not going to get into everything, but it's just we just need to, how do we get it going? What do we need to do? And that's what the book's about. And once we get further along, I'm sure I'll be sharing how to get the book and all that. Right now, we don't have that set up, but we will, right? So anyway, we'd love for everyone to come to that. If you're at the show, would love to see you. And then the other thing I wanted to share was the Academy. You know, I'm in the Academy with Alan and Richard and other folks, you know, Ray Greenwood. And we've got our own classroom. And we're doing every single hour on the hour is another presentation in the same room. So literally, if you just go to this room, you don't have to leave all day long. And you've got some of the best people in the industry, Academy members, leading discussions about all different stuff, right?
Yep.
And the first one is one that Mike Ruff is putting on. And it's I think there's like 4 other people on that panel. It's going to be great.
Is that the one, Mike Ruff? I thought Andy McDougall is moderating it.
Mike Ruff is the first one. Printing the Future Now.
Oh, that one. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah, and then what's AI doing to my color? That's the one that Jim Raffle's doing. I'm actually on that panel.
Yep.
Make your equipment pay up. That's the one that I'm moderating because our good friend Glenn passed away.
Yep.
That's at 2:00. And then we round out the day with Mark Coudre's session on profit, right? And so this is going to be just an amazing day. It's Wednesday, September 11th in room S231. Would love to see you guys there. It's going to be an incredible day from the brain trust of the industry. That's the only way to put it, right? 100%. And I'm lucky to be part of this. I just, and like there's people that are like a million times smarter than me putting these things on. And where will I be? Well, I'll miss the one at 11 because I got my own thing going on, but I'll be at the other ones, right? And so I just think it's going to be just a fun little thing, and would love to see everybody there. If you've got any questions or want more information, you just email me, but you can go to Printing United Expo and just look up the sessions and you can see more. Also, I've got individual links and stuff populating on my social media between now and the show on each of these classes. And so you can just click the link and you can learn more, right? So
absolutely. So I'm excited about these. I wish I could be there. If you're at the show, you need to be going to these sessions. I believe they're free also, Marshall, correct?
I believe they're free also, but unfortunately they will not be recorded. So you need to be there to hear it.
Yep. I'm very excited about the printing the future is now. Man, you ever wonder things outside of textile and how close you could jump into new markets? This is something that you're going to want to see.
Yeah, and Andy's really happy about this, and he's super excited about it. I've seen all the emails he's been sending within the Academy about it, and I think it's going to be an amazing discussion. All of these are short. They're only 45 minutes. So, it's kind of one of those things where, once you get into it, now it's over kind of a thing, right? So, lots of fun.
This is a way to meet the Academy members, to see them. Some of these people, we don't talk about a lot. Some of the guys like Mike Ruff, Travis Barcelona, Tim Quinn, guys that are in there, these are people, Jim Raffle, who is just, these are guys that are experts in color technology, in digital technology, in screen technology. Of course, Mark Coudray, who's just, Mark Coudray. You want to hear the best of the best. This is it.
Yeah.
And you'll get to see him, meet him, talk to him, and realize normal people.
Right. Yeah, they're great. And of course, if you're there on Tuesday, we'll all be hanging out at the networking event that Rick Roth is putting together. They've got live music and stuff, and the Academy's doing our awards and new member induction at 4:00.
Yep.
And I think that the actual party starts at 5, and food trucks and free beer and all that. So, where I'll be.
Absolutely. So make sure you attend that. And we appreciate it.
All right. Well, hey, that's our show. Happy Labor Day, everyone. Thank you for watching and being part of the little show that could, and really appreciate you guys. And so reach out if you've got any questions. Would love to chat. So.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend.
See ya.